Consider this. The deputy athletic director at Evanston's Northwestern University is approached about becoming the athletic director at Peoria's Bradley University. Now, he's already had a successful high school and college basketball career. He even has a law degree and a PhD. And he still said yes. Why? Because Peoria is home. I'm Yvonne Greer, and Bradley University's Dr. Chris Reynolds is my guest on Consider This. Bradley University's athletic director, Dr. Chris Reynolds, always manages to light up a room when he comes in, and the crowd goes wild because they are so excited about everything that you bring to the table, leading Bradley University to a new future in its athletic program. So first, congratulations to you and a belated welcome to Peoria.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
So back me up. You get a call and someone says, hey, would you consider coming to be the athletic director back in Peoria? And you say yes because this is home. You didn't have a small part of you that said, well, I've accomplished so much already.
No, not at all. Actually, the first thought that came to mind, and actually what I said to myself, is that would be really special. And so really the only thought I had was just to go home and talk to Katrina, my wife, about it, because Peoria has been the place where I come for Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas every now and then, but not a place that we consider to move our family to. And so being here is just incredibly awesome for me.
Now, I will say that Peoria is home for me too, and I'm loud and proud in saying how much I love it. But I know people that were born here, people that were transplanted here for work reasons, and they don't love it quite that much. So give us a sense of what your childhood was like. Why is this community so special to you?
Well, I could begin with Peoria High School and Coach Chuck Bisher, somebody who I spend a lot of time with even now. He's a graduate of Bradley University, and he was my high school coach. And he just means so much to me. And so when I think about Peoria, I think about Coach Bisher. I think about Laux Elementary School. I think about growing up and walking down to Bradley University, because I just lived a few blocks away, and sneaking into Hofstra Hall and playing pickup basketball with Bobby Hummels and watching Hersey Hawkins and Jim Les work on their three-point shooting. And so I have very warm feelings about Peoria. And so when the opportunity came to come back home, for me, it was a no-brainer.
So where did those warm, fuzzy feelings take you when you left Peoria? You went to Indiana University, you played for Bobby Knight, and I've had so many friends when they knew I was going to be having this conversation with you say, you have to ask what it was like working for Knight. What was it like?
It was incredible. He's like a father to me. I have a great relationship with my dad today, so I don't want to slight him in any way, but Coach Knight was a father away from home. He taught me so much more about basketball than what I could ever know, but more importantly, he was just there, somebody you could talk to. He encouraged us academically. He was always concerned about our families, and just somebody who continues to be a mentor to me to this day.
Now, as one who, admittedly, I don't follow basketball very closely, but I am certainly familiar with Bobby Knight. And the Bobby Knight that I know on television was always red-faced and in your face and making sure you did what he asked you to do. Does that stick with you? Is there an energy there that you draw upon in those moments where you feel like you need to give it everything you have?
Well, that sounds like my mom and dad a little bit too growing up. You know, they're on you when you're not doing the right things, but they love you, you know, unconditionally regardless. And so certainly from Coach Knight, I learned a tremendous amount of things that shape who I am today, just in terms of my leadership skills and the values that I have. But he was a disciplinarian, and that's good for anybody. And so the things I learned there are certainly things that I carry to my job today.
What do you think it is that kept that drive in you? Because there are lots of young people growing up today that have parents that are disciplinarians, coaches and teachers that are very well-meaning and disciplinarians as well. And some kids just don't seem to get it. Do you know how you did?
You know, I can't really pinpoint it, but I've always had it. And probably the closest thing I can think of, when I was 5 years old, I was at a family reunion. And my Aunt Audrey, she looked at me, and there were probably 10 kids around. And she pointed in my direction. I think she was pointing at me, but she said, there's something special about that boy. And I'll never forget that, because from that day forward, I believed it. And I was one of those kids that I didn't try to be like the other kids. I did my thing. And so peer pressure and things like that really didn't affect me at all. And I think that was very instrumental in my growth and development, because I wasn't too concerned about what my peers thought about me. And I was really focused on the objectives that I had.
And your peers speak of you the very same way. I've heard many stories told about you where after a game, everybody would be headed out for the after party and you were headed home to study for the test. Did you enjoy school?
I did. I mean, I love school, and I just like learning, and I still do that to this day in terms of reading books and just trying to better myself. I really like the idea of education from the perspective of it allows you to go different places, different countries in your mind, but education to me is the ultimate equalizer. And the reason why I pursued education, as you mentioned, the law degree, the PhD, and the undergraduate degree so vigorously is because it's one of the few things in life that nobody can take from you. Once you have it, it's yours.
Amen.
And it doesn't constrain you or limit you. To the contrary, it frees you and gives you limitless opportunities.
So was there a plan in your head, let's say toward the end of your undergraduate studies, this is where I'm headed, this is what I want to do? Did you know you wanted to be involved in athletics continually? Did you think you were going to be an attorney and be in the courtroom?
I wanted to always pursue things that I had passion for. And for me, that's what makes me happy, just like anybody else. And so I started playing basketball when I was 5 or 6 years old, not because I wanted to go to college to play basketball, because it was something I enjoyed doing. And one thing I will say about myself, when I start doing something, I do it to the max. And so I played basketball very hard. I was the kid out there diving for loose balls, and my parents were always concerned about me because I would just play with reckless abandon.
You ever break anything?
Oh, absolutely. My wrist, my nose, my shoulder. I mean, I've done a lot of different things to my body, but that's the only way I know how to do it. And I was the same way academically, and I'm the same way professionally. I just go hard. And anything worth doing is worth doing your best. And when I finished undergraduate school and started law school, I just started to think about, what type of impact do I want to have on society? And there's no better place to have that impact than on a college campus when you're around students all day long. And so that's when I began to think about working in higher education. And then obviously with my association with sport, it just seemed to be a natural.
So you go from law degree to PhD. What was the thought process there?
Well, I went from law degree, and then I went out into the real world and started making some money.
School is expensive.
Absolutely is expensive, and you don't make a whole lot of money while you're in school. And so I wanted to just go out and just try it, go out into the real world, because when you're in high school, undergraduate school, and law school, you don't really get a taste of the real world. It's almost like the world of make-believe to some degree. And so I wanted to get out there and see what I could do. And so I went and worked with the NCAA national office when they were in Kansas. They're in Indianapolis right now. Had an enjoyable time out there. Then from there I went to Michigan State University. Had a tremendous experience. From there I went to Western Michigan University. I was there for 3 years in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and enjoyed my time there. Notre Dame called, and you don't say no to Notre Dame.
You do
and
not.
So I went there for 3 years, and it was just phenomenal. And I met one of my mentors there who I still have a good relationship to this day, Kevin White, who was the AD at Notre Dame, and now he's the AD at Duke. But he's like a big brother to me and somebody I love dearly. And he really taught me the business of athletics and helped me to understand what it would take to be successful, and just instilled so much in me. And so I'm very grateful to him to this day. While I was there, Indiana University called me, and they had a senior level administrator position open, and they asked me and invited me to come back to Bloomington, and I did that, and I was there for 9 years. And when I was there, my thought was, I'm just going to be here because I love Bloomington, Indiana. My wife, Katrina, we graduated from law school together. She also went to undergraduate school at Indiana University. And so it was a perfect place for us until I received a call from Northwestern. And Dr. Jim Phillips is an individual who I love dearly. And we worked together at Notre Dame. And I just couldn't say no. And so we went to Evanston and worked at Northwestern for about 2.5 years. Katrina was an assistant dean of students at Indiana and also at Northwestern. And so we were there for 2.5 years enjoying ourselves.
How great that you could both find jobs within the university system together. That's
Unbelievable.
terrific.
It was incredible. And then while at Northwestern, we were both doing our thing there, having a great time. And then I get the call with regards to Bradley.
And so you come back in what Oprah would call that full circle moment. And now you are in a position to start shaping young minds and hearts and influencing dreams on young men and women the same way you were influenced. How does that feel to you?
I pinch myself every morning. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I work hard because young people, they're here, their parents drop them off every August before school starts, and they entrust us with their young people. And so to me, that means so much. And so the least I can do is give them 110% of what I can give.
I will say I was with my family at the I-2 Hall and met the members of the men's and women's basketball teams, and it was a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for that. And my daughter was struck by how many players come from other countries. And in her mind, there was no thought until that moment, I could leave the United States of America and go study somewhere else. And she was so thrilled that so many people would come to Peoria, Illinois to play basketball and be a part of this community. And in later experiences, I had opportunities to speak with some of them at other events around town. And it's been so great. It takes me back to that statement that you said about education has no boundaries. Mm-hmm. How cool is that you've got people from so many different countries and cultures participating in the Bradley University athletic program? And what is that experience like in uniting all of these people from these different backgrounds?
It's incredible. You know, two years ago, I was in Italy with the volleyball team at Northwestern. And it's amazing to me when you think about how big this world is, but at the same time, how small it is. And there's people from all walks of life in a lot of different places. I certainly experienced that in Chicago, but to be able to see young people here in Peoria from different countries and them being able to interact with our student athletes from this country and to see how they learn from each other, to me, is tremendous.
Now, you have a family of your own. You have a son and a daughter.
I do.
What is it like with little people that are all yours in your household?
It's a big chore. And candidly, my biggest accomplishment and goal is to just be able to raise my children and help them to be contributors to society, to do well in school, to be prepared when it's time for them to go to college, and do the best I can with them, and certainly be the best husband I can be.
It's sometimes easy to see early on which aspects of which kid are going to be prominent in their lives. Do you see that already in your own children?
It's hard for me to see because I'm with them every day. And so I see the flaws, you know, like any other parent, but it's interesting when I look at my son and he does certain things, it's just like the things I do today. I mean, he's a mirror, split image, and he is. I mean, it's amazing. So when I get frustrated with him about certain things, I think to myself, I do the same thing. So it's hard to get too upset with him. And then my daughter, if you get a chance to see her and meet her, she looks just like Katrina. And so it's amazing.
Too many me's.
It's crazy, but it's a lot of fun because they just know me as Dad. And when I come home, they don't care what kind of day I had, to be candid. They're just glad I'm home, and they want to tell me about their day. And what I love about it is that they don't know the Chris Reynolds that went to Peoria High or the Chris Reynolds that has a PhD or a law degree or who played basketball in Indiana. I'm just the person that they depend on for so much. And so when I think about my children, as they think about me, I know that I have to do the very best I can to provide for them, not just materially, but to be supportive of them emotionally and be there to listen to them. And I want to be one of those fathers that they can feel free just to talk to and that I always have time for them. And so when you come to some of our athletic events, you'll always see my kids because I want them to be a part of everything that I do.
That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Congratulations on that. So you have these young people depending on you at home, and you have these older young people depending on you in athletics at Bradley University. And then a step beyond that, there really is an entire community of people here in the Peoria area sort of depending on you to take the program forward when for so many years there was just a I hope we can, but I don't really think it's going to happen. You came to this community, and I was at that luncheon where 1,200 people showed up just to meet you and Coach Wardle and say, yes, we still believe, give us something to believe in. That's a lot of weight to carry around at home and at work and then out and about in the community. How do you handle stress?
I don't see it as weight. You know, I meet people all the time and they tell me, you just have this big job and it's a tough job. And I just don't see it that way because I know there's a whole community of people that are helping. And
maybe you should have been a therapist.
I'm not lifting by myself. I have a whole community of people lifting with me, and so that lightens the load. And one thing that has prepared me tremendously is my time in Indiana with Coach Knight. You talk about a pressure situation for a 17-year-old kid to be in. And the thing about Coach Knight, whether you're a freshman or a senior, he treated you the same. And so you didn't get time to figure it out day one. He threw you into the fire. And I appreciate that so much now because at Indiana, you're there on a campus of 40,000 students. You're playing basketball in an arena with 17,000 loud fans wherever you go play basketball, particularly at home. And you just get used to dealing with a lot of stuff. And so after a while, you don't feel it anymore. And you're focused on the job at hand. And so when I get up every morning, I go exercise a little bit and I go to work and I just focus on the day and what I can do. And candidly, there's so little, you know, if we're real with ourselves, that we have control over. We think we control everything, but we really don't. And so I just stay focused on the things that I can do and the things that I have influence over, and everything else just has to work out. But, you know, as the athletic director, for example, in the sport of basketball, I'll never shoot a jump shot. I don't play defense. I don't control what happens out there on the court, and so I don't try to control it. You try to hire good people and good people that can do great things and have had a track record of doing tremendous work, and you let them do their job, and I do the things that I do. And I think, you know, as I tell my staff, teamwork makes the dream work.
Awesome.
And so we work together as a group, we have a common goal, and we go at it with 110%.
And I've heard you speak publicly, and one of those goals is to get the community involved with the team and also keep the team involved with the community. And I mentioned that I-2 supper. You've also got some other great ideas coming up to get families back into Carver Arena. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. So we're selling family packs at Carver Arena for our men's basketball games because we need to get younger in Carver Arena. And it starts with young people. It starts with our students on campus, but also just young people in the community. And so I want 12-year-old sons and 9-year-old daughters, such as the ones I have at home, dragging their parents to Bradley basketball games. And so to do that, it can't just be a basketball game, but it has to be an event. And so regardless of whether Bradley basketball wins or loses, obviously I want us to win all of our games, but regardless of the outcome of the games, I want people to have a great time at Carver Arena. And so we plan to do things that will make it enjoyable for kids to come to games. So it won't just be the basketball game, but we'll have things in a great hall for them to do that are fun, and we'll make it enjoyable for kids to be there.
And they'll want to be at the game whether or not they know the game's going on or not, really, just so they become a part of the culture.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And you're also looking to put the BU stamp on the Civic Center.
Absolutely. We want to brand the place so that during the summertime when you're driving past the Civic Center, people know that Bradley basketball plays there. I think it's very important that people understand and know that and get used to seeing Bradley all around Central Illinois.
Do your kids play basketball?
My son does.
He does.
He's not a basketball player. He just plays basketball at this point.
And how about your daughter? Any interest there from her?
No, she likes to drink tea with Katrina and just watch, but she's not much of an athlete right now. But she rides her bike. You know, she does things little girls do, and so she's enjoying herself. She's having fun.
Terrific. So there's a lot going on in your life all the time. What do you do for yourself? Do you read? Do you cook? Do you?
I don't cook, but I read. I love to read.
What are your favorites?
I like to read
genres.
I read the Chronicle of Higher Education. I read the Harvard Business Review. I read the New York Times.
Wait. So when you are looking to relax and recharge.
That's how I relax.
Oh my goodness.
I enjoy it. I do.
That's terrific. What else do you do for R&R?
R&R. I like watching our teams compete. Because for me, that is relaxing and it's fun. It's going to a game. I mean, that's what I do for my job. I go to games and it's fun. I mean, it's a small part of it, but it's a big part of it as well. But I enjoy that. It's relaxing to me. And again, I wanted to choose a profession that I had passion for, that I would enjoy, because work for me doesn't feel like work. Even though I go 110 miles per hour, I'm 24/7. As I tell Greg and Dan, all gas, no brakes. But you can do that if you enjoy what you're doing. I'm having a lot of fun.
And you get to do so in the backdrop of your home community.
Unbelievable.
And I would imagine that it's an incredible sense of warmth and good feeling to have your family around here. So you've got mom and dad. You have siblings as well here?
I have a lot of folks. When I go to the grocery store, I have people come up to me and say, "Hello, Chris, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't think I remember you." And they're almost offended. They're like, "You remember when you were 7 years old and I took you to get some ice cream?"
That's what the family reunions are for. Then you get to reconnect.
So this is like one big family reunion for me. And
That
so,
is
because I meet
awesome.
people all the time, and they're just so happy that I'm here, and I'm so happy to be here.
So any messages for your fans, for the fans of Bradley Athletics as we approach the men's basketball season?
Well, you know, we have 15 sports, and I remind people that all the time. We have 10 head coaches. They're tremendous. We have a lot of athletic programs, and they do great things. But just come out and watch us, you know, whether it be cross country, soccer, softball, baseball, women's tennis. We have a whole lot of activities going on, but certainly come to men's basketball games, women's basketball games. It's enjoyable. We want to provide an entertainment value to the community. We want to compete. We want to win. But most importantly, I tell our student athletes all the time, give us 110%. Work hard. Do well in the classroom. Get out in the community. We want to have an impact in a big way in Central Illinois. And that's one of the reasons why I came back. This is bigger than sport. It really is. But to be able to affect young people's lives, to me, is something that's truly incredible.
You are truly incredible. It has been my great pleasure to speak with you here on Consider This. Congratulations on the position. Best of luck with the season ahead. I can't wait to see where you go next.
Thank you, Yvonne, for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you so very, very much. And as many of you may know, we here at WTVP love to celebrate the arts. And with that in mind, let's take a look now at our featured Artist of the Week.
I've always felt that as an artist, people look at your artwork and they come away with something. When I was younger, I used to be a draftsman over at Caterpillar, and I found that I just wasn't challenged enough. I did have a background in art. My mother taught me painting, and back in the 70s, macrame was big. I was making sculptures out of, you know, cords and such, but I thought that drafting would be the way to go. And when I was working over there, I realized that I was missing something. So I decided to quit the job, and I went into the mural business, and I worked professionally creating murals for Peoria and such for about 10, 15 years. That's when I decided I was going to go back to school, get my degrees, and teach. I thought I was going to be teaching painting. I got my BFA, concentrated in painting and ceramics, and took my last semester and took it in sculpture. My last semester is when I discovered I could use my engineering background along with my art and feel complete. I've always liked a challenge. I've worked in different foundries, and I've worked for a lot of great artists putting their pieces together. So I got the technical background that I needed to create life-size bronzes. I find it just fascinating to be able to work with the engineering part of the brain and also the artistic part of the brain and create sculptures that society can use in a positive way. My life has always been a lot of different avenues, but I feel like if you don't venture down every avenue, education-wise or life experience, you don't become the whole. I feel grateful for everything that I've been through in my life. And there's sometimes that you feel like you have walls thrown at you. Knock them down. You know, get up every morning, put your big girl pants on, and be who you're supposed to be.
My thanks again to Dr. Chris Reynolds, Bradley University's athletic director, for being with us on this edition of Consider This. We'll see you next time.